I just started the marathon that I've been training for exactly 30 days. And before that 30 days, I hadn't run in 8 months. Well, I just ran 5K for the first time in 8 months, and it felt pretty good. So I'm gonna spend the next 30 days training and see if I can build myself up to be able to do a marathon. So I've done a bunch of running in the past, but over the last 8 months, I haven't done any at all. I've still been staying active, walking lots, exercising, but no running. I decided I wanted to get back into it, so I set myself the goal of a marathon. I decided to see if I could do it in 30 days, so this is what I did. The first 2 weeks were just about developing consistency and a routine. I first came up with this idea, and day 1, I got out and ran a quick, easy 5K. It felt great. The only issue was days 2, 3, 4, I did not have the same motivation. Well, day 2, and I'm feeling pretty rough this morning. Feet were sore, my legs were really heavy. This might be a little more difficult than I thought. So that's when I decided to just take it easy and develop a routine and become consistent. For the first 2 weeks, I ran every single day at sunrise, somewhere between 1 mile and 10 kilometers. And to be honest, most of the runs were a lot closer to the 1 mile mark. To maintain this habit and switch things up, I also used rucking, hiking, and just plain walking. Day 5, decided to go for a ruck today. I'm just gonna walk for another 15-20 minutes this morning. 5 kilometers done for day number 6, easy 5K done. Another 5 kilometers done, day 9, we got a 4 kilometer ruck. Nice little 10 kilometer run for day number 10. Nice little 5 kilometer run, quick 2 kilometers for day number 13. Not only did this frequency help condition my knees, my feet, my muscles, but it also helped condition my mind. So after the first 2 weeks, I started feeling pretty good. I was in a good routine, and I felt like I was getting faster and better. So I was ready for a challenge. I decided to try and push a marathon's worth of volume in 1 week and see how I felt. And I've officially locked in the consistency. It's time to build up the volume. Now, this isn't some amazing feat. It only comes out to about 6 kilometers a day. However, I felt like it was a really good way to build up some confidence with distance running and motivate myself a little bit more by setting a goal. 8 kilometers for the first day of my marathon week. 7 kilometers for day number 2. Just finished an overnight hike. 6 kilometers last night, 6 kilometers this morning. Barefoot 5K, build up the foot strength. Morning 5K, 6 kilometers done this morning. That puts me well over the 42.2 kilometers for the week. Really starting to enjoy this morning habit. Just gonna spend the rest of the morning chilling here, taking in the sun with my boys. So after my marathon week, my confidence was great. I'd set myself an achievable finite goal, completed it, and I felt like my fitness was really starting to improve. I wasn't feeling sore at all, except for the first maybe 10 minutes of the day. I wasn't dreading running so much anymore. It felt like something I got to do, something that made my day better, and I was actually looking forward to increasing the distance and getting closer towards that marathon. That's probably a little note we can all take for our lives. Setting yourself an achievable, finite goal and completing it can really make you feel good. So for the final week, I had 2 goals. 1, maintain my consistency, so get out there every single day, because I knew this far into the challenge, I could easily talk myself out of running one morning. You got a big run tomorrow, you better save your legs, probably better if you get some extra sleep. And number 2, run a half marathon. I've run a ton of half marathons in the past, and a half marathon for me is something where I can pretty easily judge my fitness level. So after 4 easy days, 5K for day number 22. Took a rest day yesterday, but still kept up my routine. Got out for a nice morning walk. I set out for my half marathon, and it went perfectly. Day number 25, and I just completed my longest run so far, 23 kilometers. Felt really good. I was only planning on doing 21, but got caught up, was just feeling good. Did a couple extra. Legs are a little sore right now. Marathon is not going to be easy by any stretch, but definitely doable. Looking forward to it. So my original plan for week 4 was to try and squeeze in 2 half marathons. That way I would have completed 2 longer runs, and I would have maintained my marathon volume for the week. However, after running the half marathon and actually a little bit more. I felt pretty good and my confidence was there. All the signs were telling me I was ready for a marathon. For the next 4 or 5 days, took it easy, just walking, a few little jogs, and now here I am, hopefully completing a marathon today. So I'm currently running through the Nullarbor Plains, and this section of road is so long and straight that they've set it up as an emergency airstrip. It'd be pretty cool if we got to see an airplane land while I was running here. So that's how I trained for a marathon in 30 days. Now, do I think the average person could just do this? Yeah, they probably could. To be honest, I think the average person, as long as they're moderately fit, moderately active, they could probably run a marathon with zero training. Now, you won't be breaking any land speed records, and you're probably gonna be pretty sore for the next 2 weeks, but it's a lot more of a mental battle than a physical battle. I think with training, it gives you the opportunity to have that mental battle earlier, so that way you don't have to struggle so much when you're actually running the marathon. I think the average person who does a 5K, they think that a marathon is gonna be 8 to 9 times harder than the 5K. But I don't know if that's necessarily true, especially if you take your time, don't push your pace too hard, and even walk a bit of it. Something that it'll be a grind, it'll be a struggle, but it's definitely doable. I mean, there's tons of 10, 12, 20 week training plans out there. And yeah, those will prepare you a lot better. They're probably a lot safer and you'll probably get a lot better time. However, in my experience, when I wasn't as dedicated as a runner and when it was kind of just something I wanted to tick off my bucket list and never do again, I really struggled to stay consistent for 20 to 15 weeks. And that was something I struggled with for 2 or 3 years before I just decided I was just gonna go out and run a marathon one day, and I completed it. I talk about that whole story on another video on my channel, so check that out if you're interested. So in general, I think the longer you train for a marathon, the safer you'll be. But running is not necessarily one of those extremely dangerous sports where you're gonna have a catastrophic injury out of nowhere. For the most part, it's gonna be a long chronic injury that builds up and causes some issues. That's something that you're gonna be able to feel a long time before it's actually a serious injury. So as long as you don't push it past that point, you should be fine. How amazing is this? Completely in the middle of nowhere. The Nullarbor Plains. Beautiful place. All right, well, that's about all I have to say about marathon and marathon training in the past 30 days. Let's see how far we are into this marathon now. 23.8 kilometers, 2.5 hours in. Not too bad. I'm over halfway, which I'm thrilled about. It's probably another 2 hours left. Let's get to it. 30 kilometers in, getting really thirsty. Should loop back to my vehicle here in a couple kilometers, grab some water there, and then finish this off. All right, 36 kilometers in, just made it back to my vehicle here. Gonna grab a quick drink of water. Starting to slow down considerably, but I think I'm a little dehydrated. It's getting real hot out here. Just gotta go 3 kilometers down the road, 3 kilometers back. That's a marathon. Looks like we're gonna make it. All right, fueled up, hydrated, grabbed a hat. 39 kilometers in, turn around now, 3 kilometers back to the vehicle, and we're done. Let's do this. 42.2 kilometers, over 4.5 hours. Definitely not the fastest marathon I've ever done. Hips are a little tight, feet are pretty beat up, but we got it done. 30 days of training, and it wasn't the worst marathon ever. If you enjoyed that video, give it a try yourself and check out some of the other running related videos I got on the channel. Make sure you tune in next time for another adventure. And I think it might be time to retire these shoes. Bevo, I'm ready for a new pair. I was feeling a hot spot on this foot, and yeah, that would explain why. Still got it done. Probably my last run with those shoes.